Thanks for checking in with this episode of Working on It, a journal of thoughts on the photographs I've taken. Today we're looking at experimentation on the streets of New York City. To be more exact, how I experimented on the streets of New York and grew artistically. When photographing, I got used to the things I used to use the most, like the 35mm camera with a 35mm window to the world. And it worked. I created unique views of what I saw as I went out into the world. In 1999, I began experimenting, seeing differently through the camera. More so like this, the panoramic view. Now, this perspective was not new in 1999, nor was it geared for every photographer. But I wanted to see what I could do visually for myself. I've been photographing panoramas from time to time ever since. Noting that as a street photographer, I started looking at what I had planned to photograph with a different mindset, expanding the scenes as I looked through the viewfinder, adding another photographic option. It's not that easy to tell a story in a panoramic view, whether actual or implied. Sometimes the main part of the story is on one side of the frame, but it can work depending on the balance of interest elsewhere. Sometimes the frame is full of stories. Portraits are doable. The more, the merrier. Using panoramic perspective in landscape photography is pretty much standard for many. Cityscapes are not exactly the same, but the panorama has supplied me some unique perspectives that I may not have otherwise. Sometimes I use empty space to enhance the visual I'm looking to convey. Experimenting with other panoramic cameras that offer a different kind of perspective, distorted, and an even wider field of view. Experimenting with extending the panoramic view by stitching multiples together. The result of combining two panoramic images together, creating an expanded perspective. It can be done with 35mm images, but would take many more of them stitched together to equal this view. This shouldn't be taken as a vocation for you to buy a panoramic camera. These are my experiences. Here's a photo insight. Life is quite an experiment in and of itself. We're here to see what works for us and what doesn't. So true. Though now I'm focusing on the art of photography. It's easier than ever to let technology drive our artistic goals. At some point, we need to develop the expertise in an area and not let the act of experimentation tangle us up in endless pursuits. Thanks for checking in with today's podcast. I hope you've learned a bit, at least enjoyed knowing more about the photographs you just saw. Connect with me through my website, on Instagram or YouTube. I welcome your questions or comments. Click the subscribe button and the bell when you get to the YouTube channel so you're notified when the next Working on It video podcast is available. I'll see you on Instagram with my daily photo updates. Until then.
Thank you.